So big difference between 1.2 and 2.0 is 1.0, it is a custom made one equipment, element, fixture, whatever it is. One object has been developed indigenously. In case of 2.0, it is a mass manufacturing. It is with an assembly line, with some machines, with some proper methodology they follow. So process has been established. And second thing is electrical energy has been used for industries and manufacturing. So industry 3.0 comes with the invention of all electronic devices, computers, computer technologies, like CNC machines and all. So industry 3.0 with more of automation and with computer and electronic aided devices. And you all aware industry 4.0 now we are speaking about is with the Internet of Things and cyber physical systems, networkings evolved. So now the machine can speak to another machine without any dependency of human. It can communicate the data, it can communicate the signals, it can also speak to the machine and adjust by its own. So that is called industry 4.0. So now people are emerging with industry 5.0, wherein more the artificial intelligence, machine learning concepts are applied and machine try to think and react. So that is called industry 5.0. It is under development and it will be soon, the revolution will be established all over the world. So what is IoT? Maybe a lot of versions of definitions you would have come across. So it's a simple definition what I think it is useful. So Internet of Things is a system of interrelated computing devices. That is means a computer, a mechanical machine and a digital machine. All three are combined or it is emerged together. Either it may be connected with each other or it may be together. It will act and which has also a unique identifiers. That is the, the IP address kind of numbers or identities through which we are connecting the each machines. And the ability to transfer data over network by through internet without requiring a human to human or human to computer or a human to machine interaction. So without any human dependency, there is the machine or a computer can communicate the data, share the data for making some decisions. So this is called IoT. So this IoT is also a convergence of real-time analytics, machine learning concepts, commodity sensors, and embedded systems. So these four are main contribution for IoT device, whether it may be your mobile phone or your computer or your laptop, which is connected to a machine, which will be connected to a machine like a TV. You are using your mobile phone as a remote control for your TV or AC, or you are receiving messages what temperature your refrigerator is maintaining. So all these happens with this IoT technology. So there are three things involved in IoT, I will say, or industry 4.0, I will say. It combines industrial revolution from automation to robotics, machine learning, AI concepts. Second is the internet revolution. The day when we came with the internet 3.0, sorry, industry 3.0 and all, the internet speed is very less. When we started using computers all over the world, the internet speed is in KBs, or we spoke in MBs when we are in colleges. No, when the communication speed and all, we spoke in KBs and data in MBs like that. Today, it all in gigabytes and all. So it's the revolution of internet. Third thing is the industrial IoT or Internet of Things revolution, wherein all the devices today can able to connect and communicate through internet. So that is the IoT revolution. So these three steps combines with the industry 4 to form the industry 4.0. So there is a small video. Hope we all can agree this video. So today's world is evolving towards the connectivity between devices with the human, and even today everything, no, the virtual world is becoming developed. So Internet of Things, how it is supporting in Industry 4.2. So it is earlier, it was the computers were used for content management, for data collection, data and things. Later on, people has been involved, people are connected with the data, and people are using the data, and today things are using the data. So that is the first image what I want to explain in this one. So Internet of Content, Internet of People, and Internet of Things. So it is the evolution what the internet has. And we know Industry 4.0 we discussed. So what is the 4 generations of Industry 4.0 or the industry revolution? So how the Industry 4.0 emerges with IoT is explained here. So smart factory. So smart factory is nothing but combining the IoT things and Industry 4.0 in the real-time applications that will end up with a smart factory. So Internet of Things connecting information, people and things is the greatest resource ever in the drive insightful actions. This era is the Internet of Things, the ability for machines to monitor, analyze, and truly automate the business in real time. It is not only industries, any industry. I mean to say, not only in the manufacturing industry, also in any industry. If it is in a food industry, if it is a hospitality divisions, or it is a health sector, wherever it is, the thing is the ability of the machines which can use the data, monitor the object or a patient or a customer, whomever it is, and analyze, and you can truly automate your business and increase your business prospects. Next is the Industry 4.0. This is typically for manufacturing sector, providing a manufacturing roadmap, focusing on transforming operations by leveraging the latest technologies and the business processes into the manufacturing. So this is called Industry 4.0. So smart factory, which uses the Internet of Things and Industry 4.0 concepts, it is becoming a smart. So the opportunity now exists to rethink what is truly possible by empowering the operators to executives. So we are empowering operators or converting the operator mode of working employees to an executive with a real-time decision-making process and enabling the smart factory concept to evolve. Sorry. So next I am going to play this Amazon cart video. So now we can see how the smart concept is implied in the supermarket sales industry.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Sir, Arvind, sir. Sir, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Sir, video is not audible, sir.
Okay. 1 minute, sir. I'm just checking.
Okay, sir.
Sir, can you able to hear something in the video?
No, sir, not it.
Okay. Just I'll explain you. So this in Amazon cart, they have introduced a dash cart, which is a trolley in the supermarkets. US already it has been established. So this is the latest technology with a tab or a screen attached with two cameras. Yeah. So this will scan the whatever the things we take from the shop, and it will store this one. And this screen will show you whatever the things you have selected in the cart. And there is a scanner. You can scan the QR code in your Amazon mobile app. So anything you find in the store, if you take and keep in the cart, will automatically scan and add in your cart. You can see the same item displayed here. So if you select quantity, then it will add to the cart. Yeah. So it will sense all kind of packages, packings available. So you can see if it goes near, it senses and it will show you the item. And if he removes out of the cart, it will also automatically delete the thing what you have taken out. So he has already put in the basket. Yeah. So if he don't wants this item and he wants to remove automatically, once he taken out, this is asking whether the quantity is removed. Yeah, it is already removed. Only two things in this basket. And one more thing, this is reducing the search time by it is already Alexa enabled. So you can either search the items in the store with your mobile phone, Alexa, or you can also search the things with the Alexa board. They will show you now. As I told you, it will also scan the bottles. It also scans everything, the fruits. To scan, yeah. So now they are demonstrating bottles. So bottle plastics, it will scan everything available in the store. Yeah, scan and show the item. And also it shows the warning, age restricted. So if you are not adult, it will be, they not bill the items. Yeah. And something if you want to search, I told no, the Alexa, Ask Alexa is there. They can check with here. Yeah, this irregular packings. So it's not standard packing which can be defined. So it will be based on the dates differs. Can also scan the vegetables and it will throw which vegetable or which fruit it is. You can select the thing, and also it senses the weight of the fruit in cart itself, and it will add the bill. Yeah, add in the cart. It's great. Yeah, it's not scanning the barcode, but it is on seeing the packing itself. It is identifying. Yeah. So this new electronic cart has a separate outbox where we don't want to wait for the billing. So they simply walk out and they can take the items. Automatically, the bill will go to the account, bank account or phone number, whatever connected this QR code or the application, Amazon app. Yeah. So, see the IoT as well as the Industry 4.0 how emerged and created a smart shop, actually, smart supermarket it is. So it will reduce the efforts, it will reduce the time, and also it is more secure. There is no billing errors, nothing. So these are the advantages of the automation. So coming to the topic on manufacturing industry. So what happens in an industry? Basically, any industries, there is an input and there is some process happens and there is an output. It is any kind of industries, I'll say. It is not only manufacturing industry, any kind of industry. And particularly in any manufacturing industry, this is actually must. So here input materials will be received in stores. Quality will be checked. Stock will be goes and stored in some respective locations. This is in input phase. What challenges we are facing with the conventional method is all these three activities involves a lot of documentation, a lot of human efforts, and there is also a lot of errors. It is not mistakes, it's errors because of mundane, repetitive jobs. So there is a need where we need to automate these things. And also today the paperless office concepts are emerging because day in, day out, in case of Pricol, we are manufacturing 1,200 plus different products, part numbers daily. So this is the level of what to say, documents we are handling daily. So for each product, we will have minimum 8 to 10 components and maximum of 40 to 45 components. So if you consider each material has a document, each material has a receipt note, each material has a reservation for that particular day production, how many number of papers we need to handle daily. And second thing, we need to store the documents for some years to match the IATF, ISO, TS standardizations. and also to track back for the customer requirement. So this is the kind of requirement we have. Second is the quality inspection check. If it is typically manual, there are possibilities to make some mistakes, and there is a lot of dependency on the skill level. We need always a skilled person to inspect and accept the component. If the skill level reduces in particular shift or an hour or a day, then there is a risk in the parts we manufacture. So to avoid all these things, and also in storage, no, if we are following FIFO. FIFO means first in, first out. So first comes now whatever the parts we receive first, we need to use first. Then only the second or third, in the sequence we need to use. This is called FIFO. So this has to be maintained. Otherwise, old components will be stagnant and the age will be gone. And we have to scrap, we have to lose the money. So to avoid all those things, we need to automate. It is not only automating simply, it has to be smart. Smart means once my supplier acknowledge my purchase order, and if he dispatch from his location, it arrives at my stores. Until then, it will be tracked automatically, including the GST, everything. GST payment also, it is tracked in the ERP system. The day he raised the invoice against my purchase order, and it is entering the stores. Then the quality level acceptance is also made in the ERP system, like SAP or anything, and it will be stored in the respective storage location. When there is a requirement from process, I want this component. So process starts. So process also we have 3 steps. First is preparation of the ingredients, components, whatever it is. Second is the process, manufacturing process. Third is the packaging. So these 3 are the core areas in process. So same component will be used for multiple products. That also we need to track. Based on that, we need to maintain the inventory and we need to reorder. All those things will happen automatically. It doesn't depend on man. Second is preparation. Preparation is for each component. There is different methods of preparation for making it prepared to manufacturing. So it may be a cleaning process, it may be a pre-processing, it may be unpacking, it may be a weight, it may be arranging, anything it is. So pre-processing, preparation activity will happen. Second is the process. It may be a machining, it may be a welding, it may be assembly, or it may be some other things also. It may be a painting, it may be a dispensing. All those things comes under manufacturing. So it is making the component ready for the customer's requirement. In the same process, there is an inspection or testing where we need to measure the component or we need to make the component to work and check whether it is working for the requirement. Third is acknowledging the part has been produced for the customer's requirement by using a QR code or a laser marker or a sticker, barcode sticker. We need to print and paste it on that to identify this part is being manufactured for this particular purchase order for this customer with this date, with this operator. All this information will be loaded on. Finally, it goes to the packaging. Customer wants how many numbers. Based on the quantity, the packaging will differ. Which location the customer wants. If it is a TVS Motors, it has to go to minimum 3 locations in India. So we have to supply to Hosur, or we need to supply to Manesar, or we need to supply to Haridwar. If it is a HMCL, again, Hero Motor Corporation, whether it has to go to a Gurgaon factory or Rajasthan factory or Haridwar factory. So all these things automatically based on the purchase order, based on the manufacturing part number, we need to automatically make the arrangements, and packing will happen manually, but things will be ensured behind with the systems. Okay, now my manufacturing lot is ready for supplies. Now comes the output products. So output, how it happens again with the lot code verification. This is for which lot? This will go to the finished part stores. Whatever the manufactured packed item, it will go to the finished part stores. There it will be verified for which lot, which purchase order it has been manufactured. Then again, it has a secondary packing. Secondary packing means it will have an overall pallet. In that pallet, 10 boxes will be loaded or 15 boxes will be loaded. Then that whole pallet will be shipped with the container. Then this final secondary package will be moved to the finished goods invert in system and stored in a particular location for dispatch. So this is the overall view of a manufacturing industry, what happens in any manufacturing industry. Okay, so now we saw the overall overview of a manufacturing industry. So what happens in Pricol regarding the smart and connected factory, I'm showing in this slide. So Pricol has taken 4 initiatives. Okay, first I will show you this, what are all the feasible things in Industry 4.0. First is the cyber security, cloud computing, mobile technologies, machine-to-machine connectivity, 3D printing, advanced robotics or robot applications, big data analysis, Internet of Things, RFID, and cognitive computing. These are multiple technologies combined in Industry 4.0. Wherever you are seeing the green dots, these are the areas where Pricol has been already established the systems, and other areas we are working on. So we took these concepts in 4 headings. First is process automation. Second is machine learning and AI. Third is smart quality and smart maintenance. Fourth is RPA, robotic process automation. So what happens in Pricol, I will just touch upon. So we developed a system called Digital Production Monitoring System. And we started this in the year of 2015, slowly by introducing some traceability, barcode-based traceability and traceability throughout the assembly line. The concept is the first process will store all the data of the process. What is the temperature, what is the air pressure, like process parameters and product conditions, what weight it was, what height it was, what is the dimension it was, everything stored in that same station against the independent barcode for that particular product. If you buy anything today, even it starts from your pen. Ordinary 10 rupee pen has a barcode. If you check, no, if your pen has a barcode, in that barcode, if you scan, it has some data. It starts from pen today, whatever it is. If you take a car or a bike, it has multiple components. In every component, you can find a barcode. You can track, or the manufacturer can track which lot it was, who is the supplier, everything. So like this, we started with the traceability. And the beauty of the whole line traceability is, if first station not accepting this component and it is the part is not completed enough or satisfactorily, then the second machine or further machines will not accept the part for manufacturing. So this is the thing what we started this Internet of Things initially. Then later on we developed this. And now today we have all 3 things. So first thing is offline DPMS, second is online DPMS, and finally we are with web reports and analysis published automatically for the MIS and MRM, that is management review meetings. Yeah. So offline DPMS is nothing but this needs an external device to monitor and share the data. For assembly lines, this has been established for escalations and acknowledgements. So basically escalation means if there is a material shortage in between, or if there is a quality problem when I am manufacturing, or if there is a machine breakdown, the traditional or conventional way is we need to go to inform. The operator will go to inform the supervisor. Then in turn, supervisor will call the maintenance person or a stores person or a quality person to rectify the problem. Now what we made is we put a small box. Also, we have provided in some assembly lines with a tab, electronic assembly lines with a tab. With this tab or a mobile application, they can easily escalate any kind of stoppages within 35 seconds. In a subsequent slide, I will explain you this application. This mobile application is developed by a student from a college, and they have supported us for this activity, and it has been implemented successfully, and it is running today. Second is online DPMS. This again not depends on external device. Machine program itself has the digital production monitoring system inbuilt. So this will also, this not only do the traceability activity, the machine itself, if the machine stops for 15 seconds or some time, defined time, more than a defined time, it will pop up a screen, asks for the reason, with the operator why the machine has been stopped. Once the operator selected the particular region, the escalation will happen automatically. And the beauty here is the escalation will go to the respective module person, whomever it is from each department. No, either it is a quality person, means if we have 5 different quality person who is responsible for this particular process or machine, they will receive the SMS or a message or a WhatsApp, email, anything we can configure. We configured now with an SMS and a email. So this has been recorded. Also, this is included in the ERP system for the monitoring purpose. So this is a real-time DPMS. It also displays in the web page. And next is the web reports and analysis. The overall plant has multiple assembly lines. Around each plant will have minimum 40 to 50 assembly lines. To gather all the data and to collate all the data and to convert this into a useful presentation, currently we are using some 4 or 5 persons only doing these activities. Now with this also, the moreover, not only manpower required, there is also a lot of differences in reports, errors in reports, or we will say the skill level required for that preparation is high, the reporting preparation is high. If person is not available, then the activity will be on hold. All these things are reason for making a automation in this area. So now the machine parallelly, when there is a manufacturing happens, the report you can see the reports. Here it may be a plant-wise report or a line-wise report or a product-wise report, customer-wise report, quality report, productivity report, safety report, availability report, skill matrix. Everything is automatically updated, real-time, spontaneously, instantly. If you want the production report at 11 o'clock, you can see at 11 o'clock. 11:15, the report will change and you will get a real-time, on-time report. So this is the beauty of the web reports. So this system has been implemented in all our Pickle plants. So these are few screens in this DPMS. So this is the digital production monitoring system in an assembly line. This is the real time what I shown. This is the time bar. So shift starts at 7:30 a.m. and ends at 4 p.m. This time is at 3:30 p.m. So you can see the shift target 807, and at 3:30 p.m. what is the target plan? 740 numbers. What is actually produced is 720. The gap is 20 numbers has been lost in this up to 3:30 p.m. And in this 720 numbers produced, what is the parts, number of products accepted, what are all the parts rejected. So yield is 690. So the hit rate is 97%. You can see the losses. These are in 3 categories. One is availability. Availability is material availability, breakdown, all those things. And second is the productivity, that is performance. Third is the quality. So this is calculated automatically based on this timings. What part number, which product we are producing, how many operators we are using, all those information. This is the overall equipment efficiency, how much it is. Also, we are monitoring the Poka-yoke check status. And Poka-yoke is nothing but a mistake proofing system, where in which we are ensuring all the set parameters are correct. If there is an error, it has to be deviated, or this will be recorded in the report for future monitoring. This is critical to quality parameters. In this assembly line, there are 4 parameters critical for quality. Out of 4, 1 is already in red. So the quality team will put additional manpower to inspect, or they will take the decision. So this is the screenshot what we are monitoring in the assembly line. So this is the sample screenshot for review meeting. So this is one of the line, Tata Motors for this TML product variant, product number, Nexon car cluster. So plan is 153. Actually, we produced 119. So overall line efficiency is 78%. Status is red. They need to give the reason for this. So this is again, if you see, the time is 3:07 p.m. If it is 4 p.m., then the total plan will come around 220 numbers. What is the actual? What is the overall line efficiency? And again, for the whole shift, no, that will display. So Third thing is the on-screen work standard sheets. So any process, there is a standard to follow to manufacture, which are all the parameters to be inspected, which are all the parameters to be set, what are all the PPEs and safety equipments they want to wear, what is the sequence they need to follow, what are the good images, bad images, how it looks like, what is the assembly sequence, which are all the part numbers they want to assemble. So this will be displayed both in Tamil as well as in English. If it is Tamil Nadu, we have Tamil. If it is in Pune or Maharashtra, it will be in Marathi. And if it is in North India, it will be in Hindi. So this is local languages we will follow. Based on the location, we will follow this things. So this also earlier it was in paper. The problem with paper was the operator will refer a wrong document for a wrong product, and they will make a different or mistake, or they will make some errors. Now, if they want to manufacture a particular product, unless the barcode matches with the master, it will not agree. Based on the part number what we selected, automatically for that particular machine, what is the work standard sheet, it will display. Apart from this standard document, we also have a stepwise instructions. This instruction will guide the operator each step. Next step, they don't want to search in this. It is displayed in a big font, big letters in this area. Also, it will monitor what are the offline things in separately. And also, if there is any deviation in the parameters and things, the warnings will be given and machine will be stopped. Finally, comes to the utilization monitoring. Any investment, any machine, no, there is a utilization monitoring will be there. Utilization means what is the machine availability and how much we are using the machine for particular day. So this has been monitored automatically based on the day-wise manufacturing schedule versus available time as well as actuals. With these three, we are monitoring each machine, no, machine-wise, we can see the graph. What is week 1 utilization, week 2, what is the utilization, week 3, week 4. So management will ask why this week there is a reduction in utilization. Is there any reason? If it is a month end, means already schedule has been over. This machine has not been utilized. Like that, some reasons will be provided by the production team. Again, so this is the server traceability, what I discussed in a previous slide. So the first station will accept the part once it is passed this station completely or process completed in this station successfully. Only if this station completed successfully and part is good, the second station or further subsequent station will accept this barcode. Second is, if he skipped this station and goes to this station, machine will say previous station not completed. Or if he attempts second time the same process, it will say process has been already completed. So there is no duplication of activity. There is no skipping of process. There is no skipping or the no good part fed to the next process. All these things are arrested in this server traceability system. Second is the digital check sheets. So earlier these check sheets are paper and the operator will fill the data even some days without doing the inspection, doing the testing. So they want to check a screw tightening torque. Earlier days, they will do or not, we don't know. They will simply fill the screw torque specification and they will close the paper. Now what is happening is the machine will ask this one, they have to tighten the screw. Once the screw tightness achieved, the value will be monitored by the machine itself. Then he has to simply give OK to record in the system. That's all. So this is how the check sheet has been automated now. This is the thing what I told, no, Pocoyoke verification. So temperature setting parameter, as I told you in previous slides, the assembly line will manufacture multiple product numbers and each product will have different parameters to set. So the temperature setting for A product is different, B product may be different. So each product, the particular temperature has been set or not monitored by the machine itself. That is called Pocoyoke, mistake proofing. So it is a error proofing system. Finally, we comes with a breakdown trend analysis and closure analysis. So day-wise, what was the breakdown happens, what time they took for closing, duration of this thing, And what was the duration of breakdown? This will be connected with the overall line efficiency or equipment efficiency analysis. And next time, whether the breakdown comes, they can easily see the previous history of the particular error or breakdown, and they can easily resolve so that the duration will keep on reducing. So this is how the breakdown has been monitored. Again, I am playing a small video which will explain all the things I explained in the previous slides. So this is our assembly line. So you can see this operator scans his ID card so that the machine knows who is operating for that particular product. For that particular barcode, this operator ID will be stored, who has produced this product. And also we are monitoring this person's skill level, how many components he has been produced. The skill level is based on number of components he has produced so far for that particular product. If you see, if for example, I will say, if he is manufacturing in Tata Motor Nexon assembly line, he has manufactured last month 30,000 products. Keep on, this quantity will be increased. In 6 months later, he is experienced with some 1,50,000 or 1,80,000 parts, means his skill level may be converted to a expert level. He moves his skill level from learner level to beginner, beginner to learner, learner to expert, expert to he can able to teach. Like that, 4 quadrant or 4 levels we will maintain for each operator, and he will be skilled for minimum 3 processes. He will be skilled for minimum 3 processes based on his experience. Second is this will be automatically monitored and automatically recorded in HR's document also. Now he is setting up the process. He is giving the inputs for whatever the station is using for. Now he is verifying the Pocoyoke. So there are some steps. So his component sensor is working or not, he sensed. Now what he is doing is, it is monitoring the machine idle time. If the machine is idle for some defined minutes or seconds, it will throw this window. Again, he has to select in the reason, drop-down list, material shortage, fixture changing, operator not available, changeover, or any breakdown like this. No, he has to select. So this will be recorded. So this recording purpose, we need to see what reason it has, the line has been stopped, all those things. So now you see there is a error in this sequence. This not only, the machine not only shows what is the error, it also shows what is the rectification method or correction method for this particular error. If there is a method change or the error definition is changing, now the programmer will update this comment, and automatically the operator will not search for some supervisor, some expert to clear the error and to come back and to start operation. So this error clearing or sequence error system, no, this helps the operator to avoid the downtime. So the productivity will increase. Otherwise, no, the operator will wait for which error, or he will search what is the problem. Or if he doesn't know, he has to go to the expert or he has to go to the supervisor. They call here, they will identify the error, then they will rectify. This type of downtimes has been completely eliminated by such activity. Apart from this, also some error comes, but during that period, we will keep on adding this document. Yeah, that will help us to improve this system. This is a small AI concept we employed in this machine. Yeah. So this again an error. Now he's resetting the error and he's continuing with the project. Here you can see the rework monitoring. If some product is failed in this station, that particular operator has to select what is the reason for that failure. You can see in this station, if it is an IC or stepper motor assembly station, these are possible failures. These are the possible failures in this station for this particular product. So the operator will select for what reason the part has been rejected. Now, based on this selection of this error, no, sorry. So based on this selection of this error, the rework station, no, the rework operator will come to know for what reason this part has been rejected, and he will do the particular respective rework process, and the rework will be completed. These are the screens what I expect. This is the overall report for that particular shift we can take from the assembly. So this is the report or graph for the week wise or process wise, month wise, any kind of things we can take. So this is the system, digital production monitoring system, what we implemented in Pricol for manufacturing. Okay, so these are few other systems what we implemented in Pricol for out of manufacturing or the digital production monitoring system. So there is a portal called e-learning. So this is the knowledge sharing things. So the advantages of this e-learning system is earlier days or traditionally what we will do, we have a trainer for each process or for each product or each module. So that a particular trainer will train the newly joined employees, or some persons will go from one location to transfer kind of thing. And third case is if some new product comes, some new processes added, those times, no, during those times, we need to train the team. So earlier we were having a training session. We will call all the operator to batch wise to some auditorium or somewhere. We will use trainings and all. Now we implemented just before Corona. This was implemented in 2019 actually, and this was highly useful for us during this Corona period because we need to keep the operator social distancing and all. So we doesn't have any problem because we train everyone with this system. Even some regular trainings by other this HR department and quality department, no, they have used this same portal for training their sessions in this in online. This will provide the individuals a safe environment, social distancing, everything. This was very useful for us. Second thing, we used a lot of videos, photos and things, so the operator can easily understand the visual things. Because earlier when it is in a classroom kind of training, no, when one person is explaining in the stage, half of the people will not clearly see what is explaining, what is the image they are showing. Lot of difficulties was there. And when they are doing the real-time process only, they will feel or they will touch the component. Now they have a close look of this images and videos, no? So with this, they can easily learn or they can learn better. Second thing, this time, no? If it is in a classroom kind of training, the time was defined and they will not wait for, because multiple batches we need to train. They will not wait for the person's ability to learn. Now, this thing is anytime, no, he can log in and he can repeat the training any number of times. So based on my skill, my ability, I can learn in my own pace, speed. So that is the advantage of e-learning system. Okay, this is an example for vision-based system what we developed in Pricol. So the vision-based system, why we are showing it as a pride means, so whatever the screen you are seeing is for one of the car cluster. We have around some, this is one screen. Like this, multiple screens he had to check. In this screen itself, we have 14 test points, 14 checkpoints he has to inspect. And this product, we are manufacturing around 400 numbers per shift in 8-hour shift. So that operator has to inspect in 8 hours, 400 numbers. Almost, if I reduce the coffee time and lunch time, everything, no, 400 minutes, he has to inspect 400 numbers of this cluster. Each 1 minute, he has to inspect one product with minimum 14 to 15 similar screens. So this screen will be available for him for some 5 seconds or 6 seconds to judge all these 14 characters immediately. So this is a big challenge. Second is this pointer inspection is an angle based. He has to judge the angle of this pointer and he has to decide the good or no good. Third is person to person, the decision will vary. So to avoid all these things, we have implemented the camera system where multiple checkpoints, multiple levels based on the camera program, we can easily test the parts. So you just see this screen, this small screen. This operator has to inspect in a shift 400 numbers each minute, some one cluster with all these bars. He should not miss even the bar, horizontal bar in this A. So that much complication is there in this cluster displays. So to avoid the risk of skipping the mistakes or errors, and also it is a human fatigue, the operator has to undergo every 3 months for a color blindness because of keep on seeing this. No, that will make his eyes and brain nervous problems. And third is we have to swap the operator in every 3 months. So the decision making is difficult, skill level we need to maintain. So to avoid all such things, no, we have implemented vision-based inspection system. So this is an example. This is the manual jig. This operator will fix the cluster in this machine and he will start inspection. The manual inspection, these are all the disadvantages. Skilled operators always required to make decisions whether part is good or not. Second is the cycle time is 90 seconds per part. The operator has to stand here to inspect completely and he has to pack the part. To meet the productivity, we employed 2 different operators to inspect 2 jigs, and there is a fatigue, there is a tedious working inside a dark room. Now we have an automated vision-based inspection, 2 jigs next to each other, very closely mounted, not like this one. This is around 600 mm space. In 800 mm space, we have 2 components inspection. This operator should know only to scan the barcode, keep the part, press the button. That's all. So the machine automatically inspects and it will show the result good or no good. If the part is good, he will take the part, put the barcode sticker and he will give to packing. If the part is failed, he has to keep in the rejection chute. This operator's job is very much simplified. Because of this, the product cycle time, automatic parallel checkings, and easy loading things, no, the cycle time has been reduced, productivity has been reduced or improved by 1 person elimination, and also there is a dual fixture operated by 1 person. Also machines, no, the total machine size, machine cost, everything has been reduced. So this is again a traceability line. So why we are showing this line is, this line is like a car manufacturing line. This for a pump, water pump, we are manufacturing for Caterpillar. So this, the advantage of this assembly line is, this line has a 38 number of variants, 1 single line. There is no operator intervention. Part will be loaded here and unloaded here with the cranes, because the weight of the part will vary from 8 kg to 80 kgs, 80 kg. It is a water pump assembly line. So this has an interlock, this has the component, the elements, no, machine elements, the tightening system, pressing system, laser marking system, air leak testing system, everything is flexible. If you consider a 8 kg product, how much process parameters, no, the volume of the water will be very less, the tightening torque will be less. If I take 80 kg, compared to 80 kg, the 80 kg machine system will have a higher torque, bigger size nut, bigger size screws, bigger size press is required to insert bearings, and we need to have a larger volume to inspect, different cycle time. So with a lot of flexibility, this line has been inbuilt with Industry 4.0 technology, IoT, RFID, safety devices, maintenance checklists and maintenance errors, maintenance assistance by the machine itself, production monitoring, data analysis, daily reports, and robotic laser marking, because each and every pump requires a marking in different location, different data. So it is fully automized. So this is an assembly line with multiple data, multiple different flexibilities available. So now comes the interesting topic, this robotic process automation. So Pricol started manufacturing robot in 2019, and successfully we implemented our first 6-axis robot in one of our assembly line in August 2020, and production started from September until 27th March, 10:30 a.m. the machine is running without even single stoppage. I'm very proud to say this because there is no breakdown so far, and the system may be over-engineered because it is a first machine for us, and we completed this machine within the target cost, and the target cost given to us is 20% lesser than the standard robot cost available in the market. If we buy a robot outside, the cost what we buy, no, we have given a target of 80% to manufacture this robot in-house. So we have successfully completed this robot, and this is our robot running in a water pump assembly line. Further, we are working on multiple concepts. We are not manufacturing robots and supplying to anyone. It is only for the in-house purpose. And we are also looking for increasing the number of robots manufacturing per year, and based on the assembly line configuration and requirements. So we are also working on Cartesian CNC loading robots. We have around 60 CNC machines now. So we need to work for this, and this concept will be also useful for sintered component manufacturing, pressure die casting, plastic component manufacturing, and the printing processes, which we are doing already. So we have a high demand for this model also. This is for process robots. This again a process robot. This we have not. We have started evolving this model. Now design has been completed. We started manufacturing this type of 4-axis SCARA robots. Next, we are targeting for 3-axis SCARA robot. Cartesian robot we already manufactured, but it is like a SPM. This will be built in inside a machine. This we started. We have already established some 5 to 6 machines in Pricol lines. This is for soldering and dispensing process we have evolved. And the cobots, we are still in concept level, but I am sure maybe in next 1 year or 2, we will implement our own cobots in our assembly lines. Cobots are nothing but collaborative robots which will work along with operators. Now this machine, you can see the yellow color frames and shields. This is prevented from access by operator or humans. If you open the door, the robot will stop. So because of safety reasons, we have implemented this. In cobot condition, that will not be a requirement, because once the robot finds any obstacles or hit or something, no, it will automatically stop. So that we are working now. So this is about RPA. We are also working for some software RPAs. Nothing but we are automizing some approval processes and other things. So this is the mobile application I shown in the earlier slide for escalations for offline DBMS. This was the application developed by a student I told. So this is developed and implemented for escalation for 6 different categories. One is machine breakdown, material shortage, quality state issues, jigs and fixture problems, tool life calibration overdues, and any plan change. So these are multiple reasons, and escalation, simple escalations in 3 steps, same way acknowledgement in 3 steps. So once if he finds any machine breakdown, he goes to the, he takes this mobile, he scans the particular machine QR code, he select the problem listed in this application, he just press escalate. Immediately this application will throw this breakdown message to the respective for which line he scanned for that particular machine, who is responsible for that particular shift. He will receive a SMS. So that is the beauty of this system, and it is working today. So these are the various benefits what Pricol is enjoying today for DPMS and other things. So we have improved our overall equipment efficiency monitoring by 5% because of this automated systems. And We also reduce the operation cost. We can able to reduce the operation daily day-to-day operation cost by 15%. So asset utilization monitoring, we have optimized 20% of assets based on the keep on continuous monitoring. So this is again machine-to-machine traceability and interlock assembly lines. So product and process traceability and system alerts. Because of this, we have eliminated and avoided a lot of quality issues, and customer also has a good satisfaction for this. And these are the RPA and other sensor actuators. With this, we have improved our quality by 10% from the existing quality level. Again, the summarized benefits. So we enhanced our productivity through optimizing and improving the automation levels. So that data, whatever we are seeing is a real time. So real time data for not only for production, also for the supply chain. Now the inventory backflash in ERP system, everything happens automatically. And because of this, the errors has been come down drastically. And also the efforts required by the human has been reduced in a large extent. And higher quality smart products has been manufactured in our assembly lines, we proudly say, and smarter and more efficient operations because any operations, no, if there is any failures or if there is any improvement required, everything will be shown automatically. And we are also working on more machine learning and AI concepts. How I shown now the error for each error, what he has to do like that. Now we are working on skill-based operator deployment for which product, how many operators in each line has to be deployed, who is that particular operator suitable for this product, and whether he is present today or not. Based on his attendance, the machine will once morning 7:30 the shift starts. Operators will punch their attendance before 7:30. Once they come to the line will show who is the operator going to work on this particular assembly line in which process based on the product they have been chosen. So this is the smart skill deployment we are working now. So this like this, no, lot of concepts we have in pipeline to establish. So advanced next is advanced process automation and maintenance. Like I shown now, the smart maintenance, we have a lot of things. And also we are working on smart energy savings and energy monitoring systems. So today the electric power is very precious, and we have a lot of efforts to reduce the cost of products. So all these things are benefits out of this smart technologies. Finally, faster and data-driven decision making. Earlier it is an experience-driven decision making, and we need to decide something. We need to have an experienced person. We need to have a perfect or a particular supervisor or some skilled persons to take some decisions. Now it is a data-driven decision. So it doesn't need for any or doesn't wait for any particular persons. The machine will throw the decision what to do next. So this is how the smart factory concepts and IoT Industry 4.0 concepts are helping the manufacturing industries today. So you can apply all these concepts anywhere in any manufacturing industry. It is not only for product manufacturing, it is also for process industries. It is also for food industries. It is also for medical industries, or it is a schools or educational institutions. Anywhere such kind of technologies can be implemented. And today the cost of this technology is very, very simple and very, very less. Also the standard solutions are available in a large extent. Recently I came across in Microsoft Office 365, there is a simple app development software they have implemented, and with some reasonable cost we can install and we can use. It is an open license, anybody can use, or any number of persons can use the same license. And also there is a process flow automation, there is a form, predefined templated forms. We don't want to create or waste our time in thinking something which is a standard basically available. We need to use our human knowledge and brain for better things. So that is what my thinking on how smart we can work. So thanks for the opportunities. I'm waiting for your queries.
Respected sir.
Yes, sir.
Shall we ask for queries, sir?
Yeah, please, sir, please.
Respected professors, the session is now open for queries. You can also use the chat box to post your queries, comments, and feedback about our session now. Please unmute yourself. You can interact with our session chat. Sir, if possible, kindly share your email address and contact details in the chat box. Sir?
Yes, sir.
Sir, participants are seeking your contact details.
Sir, it's my official contact, so I may share with you. You please share whomever it is.
Okay, sir, sure, sir.
Thank you.
Kindly share your PowerPoint in the mail, sir. We will.
Yeah, I will send you, sir. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for accepting our invite, sir, being a part of this program. You have shared your expertise. Thank you for your valuable time. And on behalf of GRG Polytechnic College and Instrumentation Control Engineering, we render heartfelt gratitude for being with us today, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hope the session is useful for you, and thanks for the opportunity once again to the GRG Polytechnic College. Thank you, sir. Thanks for the opportunity.
Welcome, sir.
Yeah.
Respected professors, participants, kindly fill your valuable feedback. Feedback link has been posted in the chat box. Kindly fill the feedback form. You shall also put your queries in the feedback form. We are at the end of session 1. So I request all the participants to stay back till 11:15 a.m. So that we can resume back for session 2 of day 5. Thank you. Thank you all.